Our colleagues in NASA decided or implemented a decision which we suspect they had made before coming to the meeting, which is that they were not interested in any meeting. I think it was part of their decision that they didn't want the meeting. So at some point they said that you know, as you are aware, there was something they had introduced. Part of that agenda were certain things they were calling minimums, reducible minimums, which according to them needs to be addressed by IEBC, not by Jubilee. So we, in the middle of that introductory part, our friends in NASA decided that they will not execute the agenda, because much of the agenda was the agenda because of a certain bill which is in National Assembly and which will come to the Senate hopefully, because if it touches on election it must go to both houses. Now our own view is that NASA has introduced another perhaps irreducible minimum. Our own view is that we remain committed to all forms of consultative arrangements between us and our friends in NASA, convened, supervised and directed by the umpire, which is the IEBC. So you can take that as a commitment from our side, that we remain fully engaged and committed to cooperate with the IEBC in the spirit of ensuring that the next election takes place in a context where the parties are as happy as they can. We also have a few concerns which we will be raising with IEBC. Some of them we have raised, but our issues are not ultimatums and they are not preconditions. They are suggestions, because there is the decision-making authority on matters of election management rests with the IEBC. It is the IEBC with the decision-making authority, so ours are suggestions. Of course, for NASA, they have spoken to you, but our feeling is that they have so many demands, which of course we understand are demands which are supposed to make the election not to happen. We would want also to tell Kenyans that for us in Jubilee, our position, politically speaking now, is that the election must continue. Because this country cannot keep on having an endless season of politicking. Our economy is suffering. Our people need to move on with their economic activities and put bread on the table for their children. So politically we will do all what is possible to ensure that the election takes place so that the country can move on. And on that basis, our friends, in short, have aborted the meeting themselves. If another meeting is called by the umpire, we will participate in an atmosphere of one country, one people. This is our country. So if there is something IEBC wants to discuss with the candidates, we will always be available as Jubilee. What we will not entertain, however, is a situation where one party wants to bulldoze the agenda on the majority of Kenyans as if this country belongs to them alone. That one we will not tolerate, and will not mince words around that. However, finally, we want to say that for us, if our friends NASA wants to discuss some of the proposed amendments that are going through Parliament, there is a procedure of opening that discussion within Parliament, not here. Within Parliament, they have their leadership, the minority leadership. They should get in touch with the majority leaders. The leaders can write to the Speaker or approach the Speaker, and you know, if there is any discussions, Parliament is an independent institution. If parliamentarians want to amend even the existing law, it's up to them. But what we are not going to allow is the convolution of agenda, where an agenda which is taking place in the legislature is used to forestall a consultative meeting which has been called by an election manager, and which meeting doesn't have the mandate anyway to change anything. Change can only happen in the legislature where that bill is being discussed. Finally, so that my colleagues can also add one or two things, we want to reiterate to the people of Kenya, we want to reiterate to our supporters that we remain seized of this matter with the seriousness it deserves, because this is a matter that means a lot to the future of our country. So we are not taking the matter lightly. It's not a flimsy matter. And we cannot allow one person or a section of Kenyans to intimidate the country to achieve sectional interest.